Today we're looking at this Harbor Freight tile saw. This is item number 69231 in their catalog, and this is the cheapest tile saw you will ever see. I think they're about 60 bucks, give or take, and they do claim it is a wet cut tile saw, and it's debatable. It has a tray that holds water that the blade dips it in the bottom, and if you could see there, I lost my tray, so I'm using a stand-in. Now, like anything I review, I've used this for a while now. I don't just get stuff brand new and take it out of the box and review it. I like to use it first. So I've had this for about 8 months. I did a backsplash with those little 4x4 white tiles with it before, and now I got it out to kind of work on these big 12x12 tiles that I'm putting up in my house. So let's see how this goes. So as you can see down here, I lost the original tray that came with it. But I went to Walmart and picked up a little tin tray here for the water, and it works okay. The water does run out a lot faster since it's not bigger, you know, the full size of this, but that'll get you by. One of my only real complaints here is once this disc starts wearing down, which it does pretty fast. I was cutting a bunch of little 4x4 white little tiles before, and it wore this thing down enough to actually be thinner than the spreader here, which also holds this, which you kind of need on here because the water will just shoot everywhere. So what will happen when your blade thins out like that, then the tile will pinch around this and it won't go through all the way. So basically I had to take this off and grind it down here to keep using this disc, because these are kind of expensive. I mean, if you can keep using it, you want to keep using it. So I had to grind this down to thin this piece of metal out to be able to push the tile through without it getting caught up on this. So I start really having some problems here cutting with this, and I noticed that it's cutting crooked. Now my fence is lined up pretty good. The fence doesn't automatically align itself on this. You got to look at the marks on the table and put it square on the front and the back of the fence to get it squared up. But what happened with this, it dropped. The whole saw fell off of a little mock-up stand that I was using onto the ground, and what happened, it tweaked the motor. Okay, the motor mount inside of it got tweaked, it moved a little bit, and the blade moved out of alignment. I'm still trying to cut here, but I did not realize that yet. So here in a second we're gonna try to fix that. I end up taking the saw apart and trying to fix it. Let me show you. Yeah, so on this saw, the blade is connected directly to the motor shaft, and the motor mount tweaked a little bit when it dropped. So we're going to remove this side cover here to access this motor and its mounts and fix it. On the bottom of this thing, since I'm not in square anymore, since it fell, you can see this hole on this motor mount here. It's already way big. They must do that on purpose just to try to put a screw on there and align it. But I need it to come all the way over here, you know, past where it is. So I'm going to try to see if I can't bore this out a little bit bigger. To actually get a drill bit in that hole over there, I got to remove the blade and the motor mounts completely and drop the motor. So this is a good time to show you how the little guard comes off here off the blade. This must be a little bit of a design that holds the water in, so it flings it up on the blade, so it's like a cover. And whenever you change the blade, you gotta take all this stuff off too. So you pull that off. There's 2 screws, and you gotta get the blade off. It comes with a little wrench. I never keep those little wrenches. They always get lost, or I just throw them away at this point, because I'll use some vice grips or some pliers. Once I got the blade off, I'm dropping the motor completely here by removing these other 4 mounting screws for this little motor here. I managed to make that hole a little bit bigger where this washer and this screw goes in that really holds that motor in a certain position. Alright, I got this saw all put back together here, and it's in very good alignment. I just aligned visually the blade up to basically the table. You can really see where it's square there. And it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but it was way out. As long as it's pretty close, the thing cuts pretty good. And you can see there it's going through that tile pretty easily. And this isn't the ideal situation to be cutting this tile because I'm using the short sides up against the fence, and then the big piece is on the other side, you know, but the table is pretty small. This tile saw is pretty small, so you can't really, I couldn't cut it the other way around where the big piece is going through the fence, you know, up against the fence and the blade, because there's just not enough space on the table. So if you have to do a cut like that with a big tile like this, that is definitely one drawback of this little tile saw, is you have to do it that way. But I mean, if you're like me and you're just kind of a weekend project tile guy, every now and then it's something you mess around with, doing some tile, this will get you by. This will do it. Before this I was using just a diamond wheel on an angle grinder, and that cuts tile good. I mean, you cut out circles for toilets, you know, to go into with that pretty good. I've done that. It's cut out like circles and tiles with a diamond blade on the angle grinder. But this thing does actually, you know, cut just fine. And the water helps keep the dust down. I mean, I really don't have any complaints about it for the price. It's not too bad. One thing you may note here is it is pretty messy. That's why I choose to do this outdoors. I'm pretty sure that's a kind of a standard thing. But I'm also pretty sure much better tile saw is not quite this messy. But this thing really flings the water right back at you. So prepare to get wet and soaked, kinda, if you're gonna use this thing. And my little tray I got rigged up really runs out of water pretty fast. But the one that comes with it, the full size one, it lasts a little longer. So overall, I can't really talk too bad about this thing. I mean, for the price, we really got to put this in perspective. If you're a guy, you're just doing a little tile project, or you do tile here and there, this is perfect for you. And if you have a little bit of knowledge, knowing how to kind of tinker things and tweak stuff, especially if you use table saws before, then you'll understand some of the basic principles of this. How important it is for that fence to be squared up to the blade, first of all. And it is a little tough on here because the fence isn't, like I said, it doesn't align itself. You got to do that manually. Of course, there's a lot of drawbacks, but then we look at the price. So hey, I mean, if it's something you need, I'd say go for it. Especially, it does much better with the little 4x4 tiles now, because I use that. My experience is much better doing that with this. The full 12x12 size tiles, or definitely anything bigger than that, you're gonna need something else.